So people like push each other. Sometimes it's unintentional, sometimes it's very intentional.
So with that many people all in one room, are there ever like fights breaking out or something?
No.
Welcome back to another installment of the High School Perspective. Thanks to Ryan for the intro and outro music in this video. Today's topic of discussion is dancers. You guys are all juniors in high school like myself, and you guys all do dance. So, and also this is the second all-girl episode that I've done. So go ahead, introduce yourselves to the people.
I'm Alex Ikuma, and I'm a dancer.
I'm Kayla. I dance at Cache Valley Performing Arts.
I'm Mac, and I dance at Michelle's Dance Explosion.
Yeah, so you guys are all competitive dancers, and some of you dance for our school as well on the varsity team. I'm right about that, right?
Yes.
I needed to do my research before this. I didn't do it as much as I should have. But for those that don't know, and for me that doesn't know, how long have you guys been dancing?
I've been dancing. Wait, I'm 16. I've been dancing for 14 years.
Oh my god.
I've been dancing since I was 2.
I was trying to do math. I've been dancing for 14 years too. I started at age of 3.
I started at 15. I've been dancing for 15 years.
Wait, so you started when you were 2 or 3?
2.
Oh my god. You can move that much when you're 2 years old?
Yeah.
Really? So
Awesome.
what's the first class that you guys took for dance?
I think I started when I was 3. Usually it's tap and ballet.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have that.
It's like really simple stuff though. You're just like kids, you know. There's like a lot of
running around.
Yeah. Just like playtime.
Nice. So did you guys in those 15 or 14 years of doing dance, did you guys do any other sports, or was it always just dance?
Yeah, I did cheerleading, basketball, soccer. Yeah, that's it.
I did soccer, swimming, and volleyball.
I did rec soccer for 10 years, and then I did 1 year of basketball, 1 year of softball.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know you did basketball.
Or softball.
1 year when I was 6, and I think when I was 5 I did softball, and then when I was 6 I did basketball, and then I stopped because dance took up too much time.
Oh my gosh. So you were a baller like way back in the day.
You were a baller.
But I stuck with soccer. I miss soccer. Wish I had because I only did rec, but I wish I had done it competitive.
Huh, okay. Wow, that's a lot. That's like all the sports except for mine, of course. But I don't blame you guys for that. So you guys have been dancing for over a decade now, which is that I did not expect it to be that big of a number. That's incredible to me. Props to you guys. Do you guys have a specific forte of dance, like one that you're like super good at, and why is that one your favorite or the one that you're best at?
Alex can go first.
Yeah, tap. Tap is my favorite, and it's definitely what I'm best at. I go to a tap convention every year for like a week, and like it's my favorite. It's the most interesting to me, and I like the community the most. I feel like it's the least competitive, but that's relative. It depends on like where you are really, but for the most part, it feels like it's the least competitive because it's harder to accidentally hit people.
Yeah.
Anyway. Go ahead, Mac.
Wait, what's the question? What we like?
Your forte of dance.
Your style.
Oh, I don't know. I really like hip hop,
Yeah,
but I also really like contemporary. So I guess I get the best of both worlds. They're totally opposite, but yeah, I do not like doing tap.
I do all styles, and I don't really have a least favorite. I mean, ballet is not that fun, but got to do that one. So I don't really have a favorite. Just kind of like in the contemporary jazz hip hop-ish. Tap's alright too.
Three things.
Yeah, tap's okay. I only like it when I know how to do it though.
So what kind of music are you guys like dancing to when you have like these like specific type of styles that you're, I guess, experienced with? Because like I imagine tap music is very different from like the hip hop side of music, and contemporary. I'm sure that's a lot, I guess, not as upbeat and as hip hop would be.
Well, actually, like in the dance industry now, people use all like different
Types of
kinds of
music.
music for every single different type of style.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
and
tap number.
into what they want it to be. Like, I mean, we did a tap number to a gospel song one time. It was very interesting, but we did it, and it was awesome.
Um,
We had to make a cross too.
it was not good.
Too far.
Okay, slow music, like slow music and sad music can be used in like any of the things. Contemporary for the most part is like not like upbeat. It can be, but then it's like I don't know.
So jazz kind of has a specific one.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Kind of like
tap
sassy, like
tap has different styles of tap. So there's like jazz music, which is like kind of the most interesting. But then people have started doing like interpretive tap or contemporary. That's awful, where they like tap to slow music, and it can be cool. Like some people do really cool, like intricate tap steps to really slow songs,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's just not good.
You guys can adjust to anything really, like no matter like the style of the music, or you
Yeah.
guys are like experienced enough with that. That's impressive. I wouldn't be able to do that at all. How often are you guys traveling for dance?
We don't travel as much as some other studios.
Yeah, we can.
We've had some like New York trips, but everything is pretty much optional. We used to do nationals, which would be like in June or like late June. You would go to like Vegas or SoCal.
Yeah,
but
Wow.
we stopped doing.
Nationals is usually farther away. Like you
Okay,
would have to
yeah,
like
that would
actually
make sense.
travel. And nationals takes like a week long, so you stay there. But CPA doesn't really do nationals anymore, so we do
I
bigger
still.
trips. Kind of like Alex said, we went to like New York's, and we take classes up there, and we watch musicals. But Mac does not. No.
Yeah, we do. Our studio does like 5 competitions a year. We have nationals, but our studios are different with our recitals too.
So how much further do you travel for your studio than those two?
Well, when I was in CVPA, we did like New York, but we don't. MDX doesn't do that.
Okay. So
For competitions, it's usually like in a close city.
Yeah.
So it's not too far of like a travel.
yeah.
But like I think the most I drove for a competition would be like
Sacramento
40 minutes,
thing, yeah.
an hour.
Most of our competitions, like throughout the year, will be in like San Mateo or something. They're usually close. Sometimes they're like Chabot, and then it's not until like June that we'll go places. Yeah, it all depends on really the studio though. Pretty much all studios will do something in June, like whether it's traveling far or like not that far. Most studios will either like take a trip or they'll go to a nationals, and then the nationals are always like destination locations like Disneyland or Las Vegas or Tahoe.
Okay. God. I wish I could be more specific with this, but I really don't know how because I don't know too much about it. But like, how do the competitions work?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I got this.
Oh
Okay.
God, Alex.
So you'll have, it depends on they're different competition organizations. So like they
Okay.
have different names. So it's like Spotlight is an example of one competition, or
Okay.
like another name is Thunderstruck.
Starbound.
Showbiz, Next Star, yeah. So used to go to one. So say you're going to Showbiz, right? I don't actually know specifically. A lot of them do it differently, but some will organize you by your style of dance. So they'll have like the tap numbers go and then the jazz numbers go. Or they'll do it by your age, so they'll have like all the youngins. Some of them mix it up because it's more entertaining for the judges, because there are 3 judges who are there the entire weekend watching every dance number. So it's really up to the competition how they want to do it, and then they send you a schedule, and you just be there 2 hours before you go on, and you have a designated dressing room for each studio.
Usually.
Oh, wow.
Usually. Sometimes it's not designated. Sometimes you have to choose, but there's always dressing rooms.
You always
And
have
then
to like barricade your little section if you want it.
And then you just get ready like an hour before you go on, because competitions can run ahead of schedule, or they can also be really behind. So sometimes like you're scheduled to end at 10, but you don't end until like midnight. That happens a lot. And then you perform, and then there's an awards ceremony. Some competitions do individual awards ceremonies, so like they'll have all the youngins and then dance, and then they'll do like the awards for them, and then all the older kids dance and then awards. Others do all the awards together, so like everyone dances and then everyone sits on the stage during awards, and basically it's just a person up there like naming all of the dances and then saying what they get. So like entry number 1, gold, and then like they also have different ways of ranking you.
Yeah.
So like the typical is gold, high gold,
Platinum.
platinum, like elite or whatever. They're all different. I don't know most of them.
There's always that like
And then-
one, like the highest one that like only like 3 people get, and then
And then they do overalls. So
Yeah.
overalls is like over your entire usually age group. And then you can go stand up there and get like different things. Yeah.
like award ceremony usually takes 1 hour.
Award
'Cause you-
ceremonies can be really confusing if you
Oh, yeah.
haven't been dancing a while.
Okay.
Like it's
Um,
just the guy saying like if you're listening to it, it's just the guy saying like random things.
yeah.
Elite, high gold, and you're just like, what? Even I get confused most of the times, and I've been dancing for 14 years.
But another thing is when a competition has like it's separated in age groups, and you have multiple dances, it can be really hectic because you have to change and maybe change your hair and stuff. You have like a ton of quick changes, and it gets really hectic backstage because you're trying to get your head onto the next dance and like get ready. And so when it's like in different age groups, it makes it a lot harder.
Wow, man. Oh my god. It's so much. Well, I guess one thing I wanted to ask was like just hearing all of that was like what's the biggest like number of people that can be in like one dance at a time, or like because I know that they do like solos and then they have to be like are there like duos
Okay.
and the 3s and 4s?
I don't think there is a max.
There's
because
not
you
a
can-
max.
You can do production numbers where you have like 20 people on stage dancing together, and then they run off and like a new 20 come on. So
Oh my
some
God.
studios do numbers with their entire studio.
Yeah, so usually there's like solos, duets, trios. There's small groups, which is like the limit is 5 people on the stage, I think.
8.
8? Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
No, it is 8. Yeah.
Small groups are 8.
Okay, 8 people. And then you have like a large group, which is usually like 15, right?
Yeah, like
13.
9 to 15.
Yeah, and then you have productions where it's usually the whole entire studio, like the whole entire competitive studio, like the competitive dancers from that studio.
Okay.
So they could have like 50 people in one number. They just usually swap off stage and back on stage. And then they usually end with everybody on the stage. So like there's like 50 people on that stage at one point.
The
So-
limit is at like one time is just however many people you can fit on the stage.
Yeah.
So how many people would be like, or how about this? Like, how many dances would you be in like in one day, like usually, or like in the whole like competition?
It really just depends on how the competition like organizes it by your age group or
Usually, ideally, all your dances would be on one day. It just really depends on how they're sorted by age. But lately, for the past few years, I think they've all been on like one day for majority of it. And so you would have like depends on how many dances you're into. So like I would have like 6 to 7 dances in one day.
And then there's an age, like when we were like 13, 14-ish, we were in a lot of dances that were in the junior category, but we were also in a lot that were like the teen category. So we would often have to go on Saturday and Sunday, and then solos and duets are usually like Friday nights.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the way the competition does it.
Gosh. So how many teams are coming to these? Like, are they from all over? Like, I guess it would depend on the nationals and versus the other one, right? But like for nationals, for example, like how many teams would usually go to in competition?
There it depends on the competition. Like I always said before, there's like showbiz and like showstopper, and like some of them are more popular than others. Like one of the more popular ones I think is Hall of Fame, and then a less popular one would probably be Spotlight, because Spotlight always has like 3 studios.
Like it's like 3 to 5 studios she's trying to say for like Spotlight. For nationals, there's usually a lot more studios that compete against each other because it is a destination competition. So you have more people from
Other
places. So there can be like up to like 10 different studios.
I don't really know. I've never counted. Yeah. But
there's a lot
from like local competitions, because local competitions are just with studios who are in that area.
Sure. Yeah. Is it like the county for the local ones, or is it like Alameda County?
It's whoever signs up to do it. So like, usually you wouldn't sign up for one that's too far away from you. So like, people who sign up for the ones we go to are from around here, but it's not like just however you want to sign up for them. There are plenty of competitions that happen that we don't go to.
There's also conventions, and usually when conventions happen, that's like a whole different ton of studios. That's like a 10 to 15 different studios.
What's the difference between those two? A convention and a competition?
Competition and a convention?
Yeah.
Convention, you go over the weekend and you take a day worth of classes from like these well-known choreographers and teachers from like they're crazy choreographers. You would go and you take a weekend's worth of classes. So you would start from like 8, 9-ish, and you would finish around like 2, 3 o'clock, 3 to 4 maybe. It depends.
Like
and
you get like a lunch, but
it's like nonstop. You take classes, and then at nighttime you also compete your dances.
The teachers are the ones who are the judges.
Yeah.
Oh, so every team that goes there has like the same class, I guess.
Yeah, we all take class.
We all take class together in this big ballroom.
Oh, together. Oh my God.
They're just like separated with age group. Like the minis will have their own room, the teens, and then like the seniors will have their own room.
Sure. So you guys probably meet people like from everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That one you get people from everywhere.
Wow.
And, usually each room is like crowded with a bunch of dancers. There's like 200 to 300 people in like rooms, but like in the teen rooms, that's usually like
a lot.
500, 600, I want to say.
There's
right?
that many in a room?
Yeah, and we're all dancing. We're all trying to take class from this.
I don't like area in the gym, but if you minus the like bleachers and stuff,
it's like a hotel. It's a hotel ballroom.
Yeah, it's a hotel ballroom.
You have the ballroom floor.
Okay.
You know, like,
and then all the carpet around it too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I made that comment earlier about like it's harder for people to hit you in tap. There are people at these conventions who like during the contemporary classes will like purposely like push you because like you're also trying to get noticed, but then even if you're not trying to get noticed, you just want your space. Mm-hmm. And sometimes in contemporary and jazz and like even tap, you don't get as much space as you would like to when you're like taking a dance class. So people like push each other. Sometimes it's unintentional, sometimes it's very intentional.
Yeah, it gets really competitive because at these conventions, even at competitions too, you have the opportunity to receive a scholarship. So think about it. You have 500 people in a room dancing, trying to get noticed by this one choreographer just so they can try to get a scholarship. It's really
It's a little ridiculous.
it's really
Super fun though.
So with that many people all in one room, are there ever like fights breaking out or something?
No.
I don't think
I would do
to that
something
extent.
like
I mean,
injured,
there's
but
some there's obviously some injured people, but they never like take it out on each other.
And there's like tension. Like there's
Oh, there's
obvious
tension.
tension between people, but we don't let it like we don't like show it. Like it's not obvious to
Okay.
Because the teacher is on a stage where they see everything, so if you were to make a scene, they would just call you out on it.
yeah.
I would hope that
Like-
they'd be on a stage. I can't imagine if they're on the same ground as you, teaching 500 people.
Yeah. But there's been moments where like they have seen dancers not actually taking class and they call them out on it. And they're like, either you take the class or you leave. So they see everything. So I don't think anybody would act on like
getting into any fight or anything.
yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a big fight.
Like, what is there to fight about? Like this.
I don't know. Alex was mentioning like the pushing and the shoving or something, and then I just, and saying that it was possibly intentional. I just got scared of that.
It's hard to like dance like with so many people, especially if you're like taking contemporary and you need to do a leap or like you need to lift your leg up. Or,
Yeah.
Like it's really hard.
And then also there can be like we said, you want the teachers to like notice you. So people will try and step in front of you and like get up closer to the teacher or like
Ridiculous.
it's so ridiculous. We do it, but it's so ridiculous.
Are you guys all wearing the same thing so that like?
No, we just wear like whatever dance clothes or workout clothes you
You
want.
wear whatever you think you would stand out in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You could wear like
So,
all
my first year at a convention, I wore a bright red bow, like JoJo Siwa style.
No, yeah, like
It was not good.
it gets different when you get older. When you get older, you're kind of like, if they see
Wearing
me, they
leggings and a
set them
t-shirt.
right dancing. But like juniors and minis, man, I wore some
They go
zebra
full
print.
out. They just be wearing sports bras and shorts.
Yeah, like matching little like
Little nets. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask was, I know that you guys are all like practicing in quarantine now, and that you guys do like Zoom calls like almost every day, like every week. How has that been? Because I feel like that sucks because other sports aren't doing that, and I can't imagine you guys like are going through every day. And like, how long are these practices?
So for like Alex and I, because we go to the same studio, we keep the same schedule as if we were going. So if you had 3 hours of class, say on Monday, you would have the same 3 hours just over. So at this point, it's getting really annoying. Zoom classes are. It started off like, oh, cool, we get to keep dancing and yada, yada, yada. But you have to realize that we're also doing this as our family is still living around us. So the space I have is in my living room, which is literally in the middle of my whole house, basically. So I have everybody walking through and he's talking and having their own conversations. So yeah, I'm kind of over it. But I do appreciate being able to still dance and take class. But yeah.
Our studio, we don't take our classes at our original class times. We do them kind of in the middle of the day. I don't know why, but we do them at like 2. We do at least 2 hours a day. We kind of like the first hour we do stretching and conditioning. And then usually the second hour is like combos or running our
Wait, do you
dances.
guys keep the same schedule-ish kind of though?
No,
Not at all.
not really, no.
Okay.
But the one thing that is really helping during the whole entire thing is like we get master classes from other choreographers throughout the week. Like we at least have like one master class a week just to kind of like give us something new to do.
Yeah, so it's really difficult for me to take our classes because I don't have space. Like downstairs, no space. I yesterday for the first time I took a class in my backyard, and that was the most functional it's been. But I can't like roll around on the ground. And then I usually take classes in my room, which is not enough space at all. And I can't do anything like okay, even the simple things like releve, just like standing on your toes. Like I can't balance because I'm on carpet too.
Yeah.
So that makes it really difficult. And then the thing that I can do though is tap on my tap board in my garage because like that's all you need. Like it's fine that I don't have space. I'm just kind of like chilling. And that's the most quiet place in my house. But there's not even space down there. It's just like space for a tap board. And then Zoom is also cool because I started taking classes from these teachers in Florida who are part of like a famous tap company. And so like those have been really cool and really challenging. And those like weren't offered on Zoom before this. So that was really exciting. And my friend told me about those. And then just like the opportunities because a lot of like the conventions we were talking about earlier, even they did like a virtual convention type thing. So like
So now, yeah,
there's
they
just a
did
lot
it.
of more accessible opportunities.
Yeah, a lot of choreographers that you would want to like that you'd usually have to like travel to take from them are now online giving like majority their free classes, but some places still charge. But yeah, at this time we're getting really lucky being able to take classes from amazing choreographers all around the world that I've always wanted to take from, but just never have like the money to like physically travel to take them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, the dance community right now is really coming together.
Oh yeah,
just,
sure.
it's just difficult online because
They're also some of them are even doing like Instagram lives.
yeah,
Totally just like open to the public.
That's nice.
So I guess that's one thing that's good about dance because technically we don't need to like be together. Like we're not like a.
It doesn't need to be in a group.
Or, yeah, like you can't like pass a ball over Zoom.
Oh wait, my friend told me that that she has to do like soccer stuff. I just thought that was kind of interesting because like
Well, they probably have their like own exercises that they should be doing at home.
yeah, but they have to
like the coach probably sends them like a workout or something.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting they had to like say that they've been doing it.
Huh.
That was weird. Also, sorry, side note to add on to that. During the beginning, I don't do this anymore. Just want that to be known. I do not do this. But in the beginning, our Zoom classes, I painted my nails because I literally could not do anything and it was kind of pointless. Like we were just sitting there and our teacher's talking to us about blocking and how like when we get together we're gonna like you're gonna stand here, you're gonna stand here, and then move like this. And it was all stuff that like we don't have to like I didn't like talking about it because we don't know like when we're gonna get back together and it just
Alice would paint her nails. It was funny.
other people are watching Netflix. Like people are multitasking.
My sister is a teacher at my studio. So sometimes she'll come to my house and teach here. And there's like pluses and minuses to that because I'm able to like at least dance with somebody in the same room. But I also can't do what other people are doing and getting by with because like
You actually have to.
Okay, wait. I never painted my nails during Kim's class.
good
I
job.
want that to be known. I wasn't her class.
Yeah, but usually when he's not here, I like to have Netflix on in the background. Not even gonna lie.
Yep.
I'd be trying to eat sometimes during class because
Me too.
That's not when Kim is there.
no, I tried eating when my sister was teaching and she got so mad and I got so frustrated because I was like mac and cheese and like peas, but she wouldn't. So that was really annoying, and I don't know.
I think the thing about the Zoom classes that's difficult for me is just that, like, when someone's teaching, like, you don't know what arm they're using because the camera's flipped.
Oh,
So it
yeah,
makes it
yeah.
extremely difficult. So either they have to turn around and do it, or then they
it's
just
a process. It's
yeah,
for sure a process.
it's for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Cause like I was gonna say something, I forgot though.
They also just, like, our teachers just also need to, like, prepare, like, combinations that aren't gonna take a lot of space because they know not everyone has space. So it's like, don't be doing a somersault in the middle of the dance and, like, stuff like that.
Anything else?
Wait, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, learning combos is very you have to be really patient with it because you can't really just ask any questions when you want to, and you can't just like show them what you're trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's really hard to like learn those and like stay focused, learn, and so those hours always go by a lot longer.
Hard also because, like, you're at home and, like, when you dance at the studio, you physically have to get up and go, you know?
It's so easy to just like sit down and like not do it.
It really is.
Again, fortunate to have them though.
Yeah.
So you guys are very experienced. We've gone over that a lot. You guys said 14 plus years. And I imagine that you guys have taught some of the younger kids in your guys' studios before. I mean, I'm pretty sure because one of you guys had told me about your experience with that. But for those that don't know, can you guys explain what it's like teaching younger students and like, I don't know, I guess like what do you get from it? What do you gain?
I don't love teaching young
really?
kids. Like, I don't know. I'd prefer to just continue taking class and like learning. But then Janet offered me a job a couple years back, but it was like on a Saturday, and I was just like, that's too much responsibility to take on. So I said no. But like I enjoy teaching older kids who are like my level or like
me.
Yeah, like I teach on Monday. I teach my tap class.
Basically.
Janet let me help choreograph. So like I enjoy teaching that type of stuff, but then when you're with the little kids, they get like it's more like you're babysitting and teaching, They get like distracted. And then it's also intimidating because when you're at the studio, at least, the parents are always sitting in there. So I always feel like I know how to do dance, but I don't know how to parent like they do. So I always get scared that they're going to judge me for not like keeping their kids quiet or like keeping another kid quiet so their kid can't learn. I just like I don't love it.
It's just different teaching different age groups. Like teaching little babies, like you also need to learn to have patience with them. Like you can't like automatically yell at them for not getting a step. Like you really have to like build up the patience, which is really difficult. Because sometimes it's like all you're doing is putting your foot on the ground. It's really not that hard.
My experience with teaching, I enjoy teaching. I like teaching little ones because they're really cute. Although when they start throwing tantrums, it gets really gets really frustrating because you're just like, can you just stop crying for a second, please? But other than that, I think it's really fun. I also like kids though, so
I'm not a very good teacher. I picked up on that. I'm a much better learner. And like
I also have taught like teenagers that aren't necessarily my age.
Like they're like middle school, like 6th grade.
Yeah, middle school.
We taught a class actually together.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
So those ones are a little bit more interesting because they're not that much older than them.
You don't know how to shut up.
Yeah. And they feel like they can just always question your teachings, and you're just like, you need to take a step back because...
Or go to the like, oh, can I get water? Like, we just started class. You don't need to get water.
Yeah, like they just kind of like, not stomp all over us, but they don't take us as seriously, so it makes it a little more aggravating.
And
You get
usually I'm
really
the one that
lucky.
yells at them because Kayla, I don't know, Kayla and I are like a different duo. Like she's the more
Bad
nicer
cop.
person. I'm the one that's like, you need
Yeah.
to get stuff together, like shut up, or I'm gonna make you do push-ups.
Yeah, it's
Kind of,
like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
yeah. So I
I
guess
mean,
it's a good
be
thing.
mean when I want to, but I just try to
Like,
avoid
you
it.
know,
It's funny when Alex teaches. Alex just like, okay.
I'm not a good teacher. I enjoy the opportunity and I appreciate it. And it's a skill that I should learn how to improve. But as of right now, I am not the best at it.
How long have you guys been teaching for?
I actually okay, so in the dance world ish, you have like opportunities where you can like TA a teacher, so you would help teach the class so you can learn how to like teach a dance class by yourself.
Sure.
You sub, which is so it's basically just like school. You like sub when they're like when they can't teach a class, you would teach it for them for that one day, for that 1 hour or whatever. So I'm pretty sure we've all subbed for quite a while. I just got offered like in my own teaching like dance class to teach right before getting shut down for quarantine. Like my first class that I was supposed to teach was that Friday that everything got canceled.
Oh,
So I haven't been able to teach my own class yet, which is really sad.
Okay. I kind of had one more question.
Mhm.
kinda.
I mean, kind of, but like, I feel like I know Mac your answer because
Oh,
okay,
great.
I'm just gonna say it. But yeah, it's the question is what was your worst injury? Like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
I think Mackie got this one.
Oh, why?
Dude, Mac should go last.
Okay, fine. Mac will go last.
I've never
Alex, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I've never gotten
I
injured.
think I know Kayla. I think she broke her toe.
Wait, my worst injury was it's not an injury. I never got injured, but I played soccer like until I'm pretty sure it was the last one. And then okay, this is gonna be a little disturbing, but when I was playing soccer, I had like really old socks on, so I got really bad blisters. And then I went to my point class, which is ballet with the like the point with the toes, right? And my teacher hated me and I did not like her. And like I would get really frustrated in her class and she hated me, like I said already. So one of the times at the end of class I started crying and it was because like I hated her. But my my feet like really hurt, but I couldn't say that it was from soccer because then like Janet would get upset, or I thought that Janet would get upset. I don't think she really would have, but I was like,
What about
my point shoes, and then everyone got really concerned because they were like, that shouldn't be happening in your point shoes, and then I was like, yeah, it was from soccer. That's my worst injury because that's the only time that I actually had to like actually stopped dancing for like a week. Not that long, but it was like a week.
I thought you wore a knee brace for a little bit.
Oh, I had like a thing. I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's still there, but now it doesn't really bother me anymore. It's not like that bad. It was never that bad.
So you never had like a sprain or like a hairline fracture or
No.
nothing like wow.
Nothing to get
Durable.
I have never had a serious injury in my life ever, but I've had some complications that weren't like major enough to like go to the hospital for them, but like they were like I don't think that should be happening. So I've had like pain in my knees sometimes. Hip pain was a thing for a little bit, but just slap some icy cold on that, or icy hot, icy cold, icy hot on that, and you just kind of let it go. My toes have been
Destroyed.
yeah. Most of the time I dance barefoot, so if you turn wrong, say you're turning, your pinky toe can be left behind. So that has happened multiple times.
Gosh.
So don't make fun of my toes because
I tore my hip labrum, and I had surgery, and then I was out for 6 months, and then I went back, and I started acting up again. I had like an injury with my knee, and I had to go to urgent care for it,
yeah.
and I had to wear like
You had the same thing I
not
did,
even
but not.
like some normal knee brace. It was like a knee brace where it was locked. Like I couldn't move it when I walked. So I looked like a freaking idiot walking around school with one leg. And
Like a massive peg leg.
yeah, it was really embarrassing. I don't really know what happened, but yeah, I've had multiple MRIs and it's not fun.
I feel like every dancer has had like an exaggerated injury in their life, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, we definitely fake all our injuries.
All of us.
No, don't trust us.
Or you saying like, oh, I don't feel good or my head hurts.
But
Yeah.
it's still like really bad.
Yeah.
It's still really bad when a teacher doesn't believe you, though. Even though like we all know that someone's probably lying, it's so bad when a teacher questions you. It's just like, rude.
Funny because
Like
gets
it's even
awkward
worse when like teachers question you when you're not at dance. Like we all know you're at the pool, you know.
It's funny trying to get out of class.
Because like once you have plans, you're like texting your whole group and you're like, what do I say to her? Like, do I say I'm blah blah blah? And then everyone kind of goes along with it during class. Like, oh, I don't know, I haven't heard from her. Like,
it's really funny when like someone gets caught. Like I remember there's one time when someone, because if you have like one enemy, even just like one person that doesn't like you, they will tell on you.
Oh, she posted this on her story earlier. Yeah, I think
it's funny. It's not funny. It's like, but it's entertaining for everyone that's not a part of it.
Any chance you get, you fake that injury. Like if you just fall on the floor and it didn't actually hurt at all, you can just be all like, I think I need to sit out. I got whiplash or something.
Yeah.
People always do it.
Sometimes you just need that little
brief time.
We're kind of like soccer players if you think about it. We're just for no reason. Yeah.
But
is that you guys just fake them because it's just so physically demanding, like all the time?
Honestly, like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about this.
Okay, you can be like really tired, and like your teachers are overworking you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell a teacher like, I feel nauseous, and it's nothing serious. I know it's nothing serious, but I feel nauseous, and I really think that I should sit down so I don't puke soon. And they will say, just do your best. They won't let you sit down. Even if you know that that's what's best for you, or if you think that's what's best for you, your teacher will make you go as full out as you can. Which, honestly, you could push yourself to go full out, but you're going to puke.
But you don't want it.
And you don't want to puke.
They just don't give you a straight answer.
What you do is you exaggerate your answer, and then you sit down and say that you can't get up.
Sometimes I've actually gone up to them with that same exact thing, and they tell me to do as best as I can. I start doing it. I stand up. I just look at myself in the mirror. And I walk to the wall, and I just sit. You know what I mean? Like I don't even tell them anymore. I was like, I told you in the beginning. I'm just gonna sit now.
I don't know. I just feel like at our age group, like I feel like we all know our bodies, so it's just like if someone's sitting down, obviously something's wrong. You know?
Yeah. Sometimes we don't do it as much anymore. But when we were like,
when I used to be like, I need to sit down, like,
or like if you know for a fact conditioning day is a little bit harder than usual.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your guys' most embarrassing moment in dance?
Basically, I drank an entire Coke before I went on stage during our recital, I think when I was like 10 or 9 maybe. And then it was a ballet demo and I was lifted. And then when I was in the air, I peed. And then the way ballet demos work are like you have everyone, which is like 20 people on stage together, and then they all go off, and then you have like 3 people going across, 3 people go across that way, and then like you just do like passes. So it was the end of the first when everyone's all together. I was lifted, I peed, ran off stage, started crying, and then I did all the passes, and I was just like, pee.
Okay, so like in dance, sometimes our costumes, like we don't want our straps to show and kind of stuff like that. So like we have something called a sticky bra, and it's basically like it's literally a sticky bra without straps. So we just stick it on, and then sometimes
Let it
we just
off.
sweat so much and it just slips off. And I think I'm pretty sure mine slipped off, and I had to kick it off stage because I was like, I'm not gonna just have it laying there on stage.
So I'm an embarrassing person as is. So I do a lot of stuff, but I don't really consider them embarrassing moments because it's just like my lifestyle now. But I do remember this one time. I was like maybe like 6 or I don't know. I was like really young. But so we have quick changes, right? Like I said earlier. So I had to quick change into this one outfit. And usually when you're like tiny and you have quick changes, you have like your parents helping you or like a teacher helping you. So I was backstage. My teacher and my mom were helping me get into this costume, right? So I put everything on, I get everything on, and then I go on stage.
I know this story.
I go on stage
I was
and
literally there trying to help her get ready.
oh, this was at my other studio.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Wait, I thought you were talking about the time she ran onto the stage without her leotard.
No.
Got it?
Oh my god, I have 2 now. Okay, so
Wait, I know this one. I remember this one.
I go on stage, I do my whole entire dance. Mind you, like I was like, not to be conceited, but I was like in the center most of the time. I was very flexible, so I would have my leg up, I would have everything, and like this costume, it was fishnets, a skirt, a little the top, and you would like wear shorts underneath your skirt. So I finished my dance, I get off stage, and my mom is holding my shorts in her hand. Like, so I did the whole entire dance with no shorts underneath my skirt. So imagine,
No, don't tell him to imagine that.
don't imagine.
Yeah, don't please.
The best part was we got the judges' critiques back, and the judges were like, maybe next time before we go on stage, we do a little trunk check. It was just like, really? And that's how I started off my dance career.
I read an article recently, and it said that dance was ranked the most physically demanding job in the U.S. according to researchers at some place who analyzed data from the level of strength, stamina, and flexibility, and coordination required. Why do you guys think that this is? And I'm sure you guys agree with this, just based on you guys being dancers for a long time. Why do you guys think that this is?
You have to be flexible, but also strong enough to do most of the like tricks and stuff. I don't know. I would say that I'm not like at that level at all.
Shut
Not
up.
any sort of physically demanding level.
There's a lot in dance, like jumping, that is involved in basketball. Like we don't just dance. Like we have to condition. We have to like sometimes we be running around the block if we be eating junk food at the studio, like stuff like that. Like conditioning, doing jumps, turns. Like you'd be like a lot of people are coming up to me and they're just like, "Hi, like why are our legs look like that? Like why are they so like strong and like full of muscle?" And it's just like, well, it is what it is.
If I didn't dance, I'd be fat.
Oh, for sure, 100%, 100%.
No, it's funny when people come up to dancers and they're like, oh, it was that hard, like it's that hard. You know what I mean? Like it's funny because
It is hard.
they actually like question it. They're like, oh, you had dance today? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm so tired. And he's like, what did you do? You know what I mean? Like if anybody else were to ask that question to somebody else, like a like a basketball player, they would just automatically understand.
Yeah,
Like,
just,
oh yeah, basketball
it's
practice.
just that like with one simple move, there's so much going on. Like with a
Oh yeah,
like your releve needs to be high, and then your core needs to be sucked in, and your hips.
there's so much that goes into one move, and it's like you have to, even throughout like the whole dance, you have to know how to work each muscle involved in it, because like with textures of dance, you have to know how to use the right muscles to make it look right. Um, so yeah, how physically demanding dance is, because in order, in like, how do you explain this? Like, the dance world is so competitive now, to the fact like the only way you're gonna get anywhere with it is pushing yourself 100 times harder, because you see how flexible people can be, and you see how much skill they have. Like, that's what you're trying to get to in order to be successful in this career. So you're definitely putting your body through a lot.
Definitely.
And that's why sometimes it kicks back, like Mac over there.
Whatever.
So yeah, you have to be flexible. You have to have the strength. You have to have the stamina.
You don't have to be like super flexible, you know what I mean? But like you do need to have some sort, you know, like you can't like, yeah.
And you have to, a lot of things that play a role into dance. I can talk about this for days because people just have so much to say about it.
This can be split amongst the three of you, so you can like choose like how in depth you want to go with it. What advice would you give to someone wanting to do competitive dance, or just wanting to start out like in dance as like very, very young?
Right, what advice? Oh, stretch.
Definitely.
I never did. I still can't do my splits. I'm not flexible at all. And I really wish that when I was younger, I established my flexibility and then like kept it up, because that's something that's a lot easier. I never believed them. They always said that it's easier to get when you're young and maintain than it will be like if you can't when you're older. And that's so true. But I can't do that now. And so now I'm just like not flexible, and I've kind of given up. And then also like it is a commitment. So like you need to establish how committed you are in the beginning, which is hard to do. But like if you know that you're not going to be 100% committed, that should be established early on, which I've seen people do. I've seen people like say right from the get-go, like soccer, basketball is just as important to me as dance, and like that's important to say and like have people be aware of in the beginning, or like I'm all in.
Reminiscing right now, guys.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, I should have said soccer. I was a gummy child. Like, I was very flexible. But then I grew out of it. And so that's why I kind of disagreed with Alex, because if you don't, like, make sure you maintain it, it just, like, you can't just automatically, like, think that you're just going to have it the rest of your life, because that's what I thought, and I'm struggling. Now I'm struggling. I mean, I'm not that, like, unflexible, but I'm also not as flexible as I hoped I would have been. So, yeah, just make sure you keep up with it. But dance is a huge commitment if you're trying to, like, actually make something out of it. It takes a lot of mental power to do, too, obviously. I say, for me to give advice, if you don't know for sure that you want to do dance, make sure you test the waters with everything else for like ahead of time before you're in too deep. Because with dance being all year round, you can't just be like, oh, I'll be out for next season. Like, you're kind of just there the whole entire year. So for you to leave, it's questioning for everybody else. Like, you can't just like not sign up again. I mean, you can, but it's just like
it's different.
It's different because, like, if you're like, oh, I don't want to play soccer anymore, you just don't sign up for the next season. But for dance, you're just stuck. It's just like cycling over and over again. So I was fortunate enough to try different sports while doing dance. Like, somehow I made it work. But because I'm in dance too deep, I always just go back to dance. But I also really miss other sports. Like I wish I still played volleyball because that was really fun. But it is what it is.
You want to know a funny story? Okay, so no one said yes, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
Yes.
So it's like a couple weeks before school. It was at her brother's birthday party, and the day of, we have dance team tryouts. And Kayla and I talked about it all summer. She's like, I'm gonna do volleyball, and I said, you know what? I think you should, because at the end of the day, you're always gonna have dance at the studio. She's like, you know what? You're right. Great, blah blah blah.
She's exposing.
20 minutes before tryouts.
20 minutes before tryouts.
I get a call. Like, I'm going into high school right now. I'm trying out. I don't care. And I was like, Kayla, let's think about what you're about to do. She's like, I don't care. I'm doing dance team. And all, like, everyone's at the gym getting ready to try out stretching, and all you hear is, I'm here. She's just, like, running, like
20 minutes before auditioning for dance team.
And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, I'm on my way right now. I'm going to go run in the house and grab my jazz shoes, and then I'm going to go.
Mind you, like, volleyball tryouts are the same time. Like, I already tried out for volleyball.
I'm trying to think of, like, what's the biggest challenge I've ever...
Oh, like, when for comps, you have to pay for traveling. Like, if you're going to spend the night there, you have to pay for the hotel fee.
Planning.
For nationals, you have to pay for the travel fee, the hotel fee, the food that you're going to eat that whole entire week. Like, it's expensive, man.
Like,
that's why everybody's so competitive trying to get a scholarship. That's
the New York trip, like, that we went on. Like, I have my parents with me, so, like, having them plan, like, what I'm doing was so difficult, because I was just like, yeah, that's not in my budget, so I don't think I should do that. It's hard.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And depending on who you're taking from, the fee for the class varies.
And you have to be able to adapt, because different teachers have, like, different rules and, like, teaching styles. So, like, some teachers, and it's really frustrating because they don't always, like, acknowledge that. So if they teach you a combination,
so you have to find out later in the class.
Like an example, if they teach you a combination, some teachers are like, I want you to interpret this and, like, put your own spin on it. I don't want you to do exactly what I'm doing. And then other ones are like, I swear if your hand is not in the exact same place as mine, I'll kill you. So it's like two very different types of teachers that don't realize, like, you can be trained in one way, and they just like don't get that until they're like yelling at you in your face, like, you're not doing what I want you to do. You're just like, I didn't know.
If you're not enjoying your training, I cannot stress this enough. You need to be able to find a place that does.
Yeah.
Because
it's
you are no longer growing as a dancer. You are now just there.
I think that was definitely, like, that's definitely the biggest challenge I've ever had in my life. Like, for months, I was always just like, do I really want to go? Like, should I leave? Like, it's kind of like, because when you're in a studio for so long, it's so hard to leave.
That's
like,
your family.
You love your group. You've been so much. Like, you love your teachers. Like, you go there all the time. Like, it's so hard to move. But, like, at the end of it, it's just like, your training comes first. Like, is this how I really want to dance in, like, 2 years? Is this how I want to be? You know? So I think that's a really big thing.
Once it's too late, it's too late. So
you're in deep.
You're in deep.
Yeah. You're in deep, and there's no going back. It's just hard because, like, once you're so deep into a studio, it's so hard to get out. Like, you're leaving, like, so much behind when you're leaving.
We're making it sound like a cult. It's not a cult.
I mean, like...
Please, dance, please. We encourage you to dance, but we're just trying to tell you what comes with it.
Ooh, don't get bangs. Oh, wait, sorry, that doesn't have to do.
I'll say it really fast. If you're going to become a dancer, do not become a snobby dancer, because that's one thing that... No, that's a no-no.
If you're gonna, it ruins the environment for other people too.
Yeah, don't ruin the environment for everybody else. Okay.
Thank you guys for taking literally almost 2 hours, like, to answer some questions and tell me and the people that will watch this more about dance. I definitely learned a lot. It felt like I was in a class.
I enjoyed that.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Class, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, you guys are very good at speaking. But yeah, anything else you guys want to add?
Thank you for having me, us.
For having us.
Thank you. That was fun.
Remember to stretch.
Bye.